Hi class, my name is Sabrina Bufflin. I'm going to be talking today about the United Airlines crisis of 2017. So in 2017, United Airlines was caught on camera by a plethora of passengers removing 69-year-old passenger Dr. Dow from flight 3411. So Dr. Dow was removed forcibly using 4 security officers. According to Dow, this all began on April 9th, 2017, when a full flight was on its way from Chicago to Kentucky, and 4 of the passengers were asked to be removed from their seats when employees wanted to get onto the flight. 69-year-old Dow and his wife were 2 of the 4 passengers that were asked to be moved from their seat. When Dow refused, he was picked up by security officers and dragged out of the plane. Through the center aisle of the plane, he was dragged out. And this is all on video too. So on April 10th, the following day, all of this was surfacing on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, everything. When those videos of Dr. Dow surfaced, people were very upset. It was very obvious that this was not okay. They wounded him to the point of bleeding, and this included breaking his nose, the loss of 2 front teeth, and injury of the sinuses. And all of this led to reconstructive surgery in the future. Though there were not any direct warning signs to say that this incident was going to happen to Dr. Dow or any of the other passengers on that flight, there was a situation that happened about 2 weeks prior to that incident in Denver, when 2 teenagers were trying to load a flight in Denver to Minneapolis. They were refused the ability to load onto that flight due to the fact that they were wearing leggings. So these 2 girls in 2017 were unable to load a flight due to the pants that they were wearing. The gate agent deemed the pants as inappropriate. And for the same flight, there was also a 10-year-old child that was nearly refused the access to the flight because she was wearing leggings also. The 10-year-old was required to put a dress on over her leggings because her leggings were also deemed inappropriate. Now that conversation was caught on video camera. Though that wasn't as popular in the United States and it didn't become so much of a viral trend to talk about, that was equally as not okay. And when United CEO Muniz came out after that and put a discussion up on social media about it, he completely backed up the gate agent's decision to refuse those teenagers the flight. Now, fast forwarding 2 weeks to the incident with Dr. Dow being forcibly removed from the flight. The following day that all of the social media videos got posted, the United CEO, Oscar Muniz, issued a statement in which he apologized for reaccommodating the 4 passengers. He also tweeted this: "This is an upsetting event to all of us here at United. I apologize for having to reaccommodate these customers. Our team is moving with a sense of urgency to work with the authorities and to conduct our own detailed review of what happened. We are also reaching out to this passenger to talk directly with him and further address and resolve this situation." Now, the interesting thing is the same day that this statement was issued to the public, Muniz also issued an internal letter that said about the opposite. However, it didn't say internal for long, and that's how we know what it said. That letter was found to not only reaffirm his support for his employees that made the decision to forcibly remove Dr. Dow from his seat, it also described Dow as being both disruptive and belligerent. The following day, after United's parent company, United Continental Holdings, lost nearly $1 billion of its market value, the CEO issued yet another apology, maybe trying to make up for it a little bit. And that apology was also via Twitter, and it said, "I'm sorry, we will fix this." He also called the situation a truly horrific event and apologized that he offended anyone. And he offered his deepest apologies. He then followed that apology up with, "I want you to know that we will take full responsibility and will work to make it right. I promise you we will do better." On April 12th, United CEO decided to go on an exclusive interview with ABC News and also show up on Good Morning America. In this interview, he was asked some tough questions, such as why was his initial response so politically incorrect? To this, he answered that when he first saw the videos, he reacted more with his heart rather than with his brain. And that the first thought that came to his mind when he saw his initial reaction was shame. Throughout this interview, Muniz also was asked, what is United going to do in response to these incidents? And Muniz says that they are going to take a good look at their policies, and they plan to never use law enforcement to remove a passenger from a plane unless absolutely necessary in the future. When asked if Muniz was planning to step down as CEO or resign, Muniz says it wasn't a thought in his mind. When asked if United was successful in their crisis response, I would have to say initially, no. Just under 2 weeks after the incident occurred, there were 2 surveys done by each Morning Consult and Lend EDU that found that more than 40% of millennials would either no longer fly with United or avoid giving it their business at all costs. However, according to the Chicago Tribune, about a year after the incident, they stated that people are definitely still frustrated with United Airlines as a whole, but the moment of the incident has largely passed. In conclusion, I would have to say that United made a lot of mistakes in their crisis recovery for this incident. However, I would say that the top response that should have been changed would be their initial reaction to the incident. The initial reaction should have been preceded more so with their brain and maybe with a discussion with a larger group of people, rather than waiting 3 days to give an actual correct response via an interview with ABC News. Though now, 3.5 years later, it appears that United has primarily recovered from this incident with Dr. Deo, I would have to say that the video of him being forcibly removed from that United Airlines flight that day will always stay in the back of Americans' minds.